Today I want to talk about the power of personal branding. I really think that personal branding is essential in 2023. So let's talk about what you can actually be doing for your personal brand and why it's so essential.
Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin', doing this.
What's going on? My name is Zack Bordeaux from Dogly Digital. I'm so happy you're here. I just want to talk to you today for a few minutes about personal branding and the importance of it. I truly believe that it's essential to have a personal brand in 2023. And if you're not having a personal brand, you're missing out. If you have any sort of business, having your name to back it up doesn't mean anything if you don't have your personal brand. I truly believe that personal branding is the most important thing that you can be doing to grow your business, and I really do believe it. So I wrote this LinkedIn post the other day talking about personal branding, and I really think that a lot of people misread when it says personal branding. Personal branding is 2 words, not just one. It's not just the personal part of things. It's also the brand behind you. It's not just about yourself. It's about the actual brand. And I think being able to brand your personal brand is very important. Having a personal brand, I think it's essential, but if you don't have the brand side of things, there's no message that you can actually convey. I want to read you a little snippet from this LinkedIn post that I made the other day and see if you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. So I said, believe it or not, the phrase personal brand has 2 words. However, it seems like everyone loves to focus on the personal part while often overlooking the brand part. The truth is, the 2 go hand in hand. They're 2 sides of the same coin. Branding yourself is much more than just posting content. It's about being intentional and strategic about how you present yourself in the world. It's about crafting a narrative that aligns with your values, your goals, and your unique strengths. It's about sharpening the perception others have on you while staying true to who you are. So that's a little snippet. If you want to read the whole post, go to my LinkedIn and I talked a little bit more about this topic there. Last week, I sat down with Rebecca Gunter, who's my copywriter from Stone Fruit. And we talked a little bit about what I really want to do with my life and what a really deep conversation about personal brand and about what I actually want to post out there on social media. And kind of what we came up with was this positioning statement. And I really do believe that positioning statements are one of the most powerful things that you can have just in your personal brand. I really do believe that, or in any brand, whether it's business or whatever it is. So I just want to kind of read out my positioning statement, and then I want to break down each part of it and why it's so important to the brand. So today we did the positioning reveal as I'm recording this, and we actually revealed the positioning statement and what it actually entails. The positioning statement says this: for ambitious disruptors with unbridled ambition and well-honed work ethic who will not stand for a living of mediocrity and mindlessness and are ready to pursue potential and 10x their tenacity for personal excellence. Zack Bordeaux is a serial entrepreneur, content creator, and thought leader who delivers the energy, the effectiveness, and the embodiment of carving out your own path and living on your own terms. Because grit is grace and destiny isn't determined, you are. Being able to break that down into a positioning statement that says, okay, here is how positioning works. Here is how I want to go into this brand. Here's how I want to, here's what I actually want to put out. It makes it so much easier to come up with content ideas because you know exactly what to talk about. If you can't come up with ideas, worst case, you have to ask AI, right? You go on. If you didn't watch my video, I made a video the other day called Unlimited Content Ideas. It has a ton and a bunch of awesome tips and tricks for how to come up with content ideas. I talked about, getting the bridge, getting all of the strategies. And my last strategy was, if you are absolutely dead and you can't think of anything, use your positioning statement. And I really think that's really powerful because you need to be having a positioning statement. All right, so if you can't think of any ideas, I want you to go in and go with your positioning statement, plug it into ChatGPT, and I want you to say, give me 10 video ideas around this positioning statement. Then plug in your positioning statement, plug in your messaging. Now, this might not be the most user-friendly way to do it. I'm sure there's a better prompt to do more than that. You can tell it to, create a clickable title for you, give thumbnail ideas, like all of that stuff is possible with ChatGPT. However, just getting video ideas is the start, and I truly believe that ChatGPT doesn't do a great job of creating clickable titles and thumbnails, and that's kind of a different story, but I really think to be able to create that title, do that in your head. It's 100 characters, it's not that hard to do. I would recommend that you take that positioning statement, plug it in ChatGPT, and see what it says. In my case, it's going to talk about videos about tenacity, about ambition, about hustling, about business, and then also about entrepreneurship. It's going to give you a lot of different ideas that are very specific and that you can actually come up with those ideas. And then from there, you can actually use that messaging that you get with your positioning statement to build the script. So in my case, I got a big list of messaging and keywords and stuff like that that I'm able to use now in my brand. I think that a lot of people overlook the brand part of personal branding because they look at it and they say, well, I just have to post myself, but that's not true. A positioning statement makes people recognize you instantly, and that is the key. You want people to see you and say, oh, I know who that is, that's Zach, or hey, I know who that is, that's whatever your name is. See you and know, hey, this is their content immediately, not just by your face. A brand is more than just logos and colors and fonts and stuff like that. A brand is really your unique message to the world. And I really think that branding is often overlooked in personal brands. I'm not saying that you have to go out, spend a ton of money on getting a professionally written positioning statement, but what I am saying is that I highly recommend it. I really think that a positioning statement makes it 10 times easily to create any sort of content. A positioning statement is really going to help you differentiate yourself from the rest of the crowd. Especially, I know a lot of my audience is online coaches, and I think that they often are met with the struggle that they're just another online coach. Especially, let's take fitness coaches for instance, because I work with a lot of them, or some of them. I'm not going to say a lot, but I work with a bunch of fitness coaches, and their biggest struggle is that they can't differentiate themselves from the rest of the fitness coaches. They're just another fitness coach. That's where I really think being able to niche down is very important, but I'll get into that in a different video. But if you can differentiate yourself from the crowd and be instantly recognizable, it's going to be a lot easier to build up your brand. And I think that branding is so important nowadays for that very reason. Kind of the moral of the story is I really do believe positioning statements are super important. I think that if you don't have one, I'd highly recommend you invest in one. But positioning statement is going to answer all your questions that you want to look at when you're creating content. Really identify why you're special, why you're different, or why you're the one. And I really think that positioning is a big deal for that reason. Being able to have a clear and concise declaration that communicates the value proposition that you offer is going to be very, very useful in the future from a branding perspective and from your personal brand, but also from your business's brand. I'd recommend whether you're a business or whether you're trying to build your personal brand, either way, I'd highly recommend investing in a positioning statement. It's going to give you that return, not just from the amount of money that you're going to make, but the time you're going to save in trying to come up with content ideas and trying to come up with on-brand content, because you're not going to be able to do that without a positioning statement. And that positioning statement is really going to identify the path that you need to go down. If you watch this video all the way to the end, I'd highly recommend that you go check out Rebecca Gunter over at Stone Fruit. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I'll try to leave a tag if I remember. If not, go check her out. It's pretty simple, Rebecca Gunter. You can search her up or Stone Fruit, which is her business. And I highly recommend you go check her out and get you a positioning statement made, because I really think that if you don't have one, it's going to be a lot more of a struggle for you to create content.
It ain't all about the money, but I stack it 'cause you never know.